Good morning. Another bright morning here in Sacramento, California, with your boy, Coach Mo. Here to talk a little bit of energy leadership. We talked about a lot. I defined all the 7 levels of energy, but to now I would like to get into specifics into how these energies show up for us and start to affect us. So today's topic is going to be on micromanaging, and being received as a result of being micromanaged. And I want to talk about that and how that really starts to show up for us. So when I think of micromanaging, I feel like that's something that becomes really frustrating, right? That's that level 2 energy, frustration, right? And think about it. Somebody is managing you. Ultimately, they don't trust you. They don't trust you to do your job or do a task a certain way to their expectations. So they got to rigorously check on you and make sure you're doing things the right way, right? And so that can feel like really frustrating. That can feel like you're not being trusted. They're not giving you the empowerment to do what you already know how to do. And ultimately, like I said, it comes down to trust, right? So how do you overcome that? How do you switch that energy? How do you take control of that, right? That's that level 3 that I'm talking about, taking ownership in what you have control over, right? So my first question to you would be, well, how do you define micromanaging, right? And so whatever this person is doing to micromanage you, what is it about that makes you upset or frustrates you, right? So you got to think about that first. And then, so that's the ownership of it, understanding why whatever this person is doing to micromanage you, whatever that is, why is it frustrating? And then the second thing might be to communicate, right? Seek understanding, because that's what you have control. You don't have control over the other person's actions. That person is, whether it's a parent, whether it's a supervisor, whether it's a friend, you have no control over their actions. All you can do is seek to understand, and that's what you do have control over, and how you show up with your attitude and ask open-ended questions to gain understanding and reasoning to why they are micromanaging you. That's what you have ownership over. That's level 3, right? And if you have the courage, right, to do that, to step up, ask open-ended questions. And so an open-ended question would be something like, I feel like you're closely watching my behaviors. Is there something that you may not trust about my approach to doing this? And that's a legitimate question. And they respond, right? They respond. And so, but you don't, at the same time, you don't know what's going on through their mind to why they need to feel that they might need to micromanage you. And it comes back down to perception, right? Everybody shows up with their own perception of the situation. And that person's leadership style, or that parent, or that supervisor, they may feel that, they really care about you and they really want to help you and they need to guide you step by step. But at the same time, you could be feeling, I don't need guidance step by step. Just let me do my thing. But if you never communicate that, right? So you have the leader, the parent, the supervisor, whoever is coming from the perception that I want to help you. I got to be there to support you. So I got to guide you step by step all the way through, right? But then at the same time, you feel that you don't need that, right? And now you're frustrated, but you're not seeking to understand why your supervisor or your parent is coming at you this way or not empowering you. And so you carry that frustration around, and then The person that's doing the micromanage, they don't know that they're micromanaging, and it's never communicated to them that they're micromanaging. So the behaviors continue, and so then you're in this loop. You're in this loop, right? You hate being micromanaged. Your boss micromanages you, but you're afraid to have the communication or conversation about being micromanaged, or your parents micromanage you, and you feel that you're ready, and you feel that you don't have a voice to even express this to your parents. So the question is now becomes, you ultimately have a choice. Do you continue to carry the frustrations and just deal with it, or do you be intentional and come up with open-ended questions to seek understanding of why you're being micromanaged, right? And when you start seeking more information about the why you're being micromanaged, your energy starts to go up. Once you start gaining more understanding, now you have more ownership to influence the micromanager from micromanaging you, right? And then that feels good. And so now you're moving from a frustration standpoint to a more understanding standpoint. And when you're in an understanding standpoint, there's just more anabolic energy present. So start there. Seek to understand the why, communicate, define what micromanaging means to you, and gain more clear understanding what's really frustrating you about being micromanaged in that situation. And then develop the courage to be intentional about having a conversation with the micromanager to seek more understanding to why they're managing you the way that they are, because ultimately it might be a blind spot. They may not even know that they're doing that. And remember, all new employees, and I know everybody's situation is different, even if you're talking about a parent micromanaging you and things like that. Anything going into a new situation requires sometimes a level of micromanaging, because that trust isn't there yet. And if you feel like you've built that equity and trust for yourself, and that you feel confident of you can do whatever you're not being trusted to do, now you got to start developing that courage to speak up and seek to understand why you are being micromanaged, because ultimately it might be a blind spot for the micromanager, and they don't know what they don't know until you have that conversation with them. So that's my tip for today. Micromanaging. I hope you take thoughts on that and try to implement a little bit more to seek to understand. You start doing that, you'll start to notice your energy of that level 2 going down, and you're going into a more anabolic state, preferably like that level 3, because those are the things that you have control over, like asking open-ended questions and controlling your feelings. But that's what I got for today. Take care, and I'll see you next time.